On Omaha Beach, the German defences were completely intact. The men landing on the beach were now paying the full price for the failure of the Allied air bombardment.
Imagine the shock. In other words, you're told that you're going to see greatest firepower show on Earth. And then you hit the beach there, and everybody's alive. All the enemy forces are alert. It's going to be a bloody day. It's going to be a bloody day. It was a bloody day.
The first troops hit Omaha Beach shortly after low tide. In front of them was 300 yards of open sand.
As they land, they're in a natural killing ground. They're on beaches that are completely exposed to enemy fire. There is no cover. There's no trees, there's no trenches, there's no nothing. The troops are out there in the open.
They lowered the ramp, and we started filing off that thing, running off it, and the machine gun fire was going across the water. 88s were landing there. Screaming Mimis were coming in. It was just pure hell.
We were getting direct fire both from machine gun and artillery and that, and they dropped the ramp, and the fellows going off the ramp, that was it. They were getting hit right there. The machine gun fire was coming in there, and our first sergeant, he just flopped down there. The first two guys, they were just getting, so may as well try it another way. As far as I was concerned, I was on the right side, and I bailed out over the side, and the fellows around me were bailing off the side of the ship. You weren't going to run. There was no reason to be running off the front of that thing there.
You couldn't see from where the fire was coming. You couldn't see any gun flashes, no smoke. All you know is something's coming at you, and you don't know where it's coming from.
What amazed me was there were no bomb craters. Where were the bomb craters? We couldn't hide anywhere.
Well, there was just a mass of fellows laying all over the place over there. It was absolute slaughter.
So despite all the detailed planning, all the painstaking preparation, within minutes, it had all just gone wrong.
Absolutely, and this really is the evidence of just how badly wrong things had gone. This is an aerial reconnaissance photograph taken by an American aircraft that flew the entire length of Omaha Beach from west to east at about lunchtime. About 12 o'clock this photograph is taken. But the really sobering sight is all these little black dots, all these little black marks. These are all individual human beings. What we see here are the dead and the wounded. For example, here there's a small clutch of men who've probably been pulled up to the top of the beach, dragged up to the comparative safety offered by the seawall. We can see they're lying perpendicular. These are the guys who are wounded. They've been dragged up the beach and have got some cover from enemy fire. But there are much larger numbers strewn along the high water mark, lying parallel with the waterline. They've been washed up as the tide has risen. Every one of these black dots is a dead American soldier. In this single photograph of one small sector of Omaha Beach, there are over 100 young Americans lying dead along the high water mark. And if you imagine that this photograph, in order to get a mosaic of all of Omaha Beach, you need many of these alongside one another, many of them looking just like this, we get some sort of sense of the sacrifice made by American young men in order to unlock the defences of Omaha Beach. Hundreds and hundreds all along Omaha Beach.
Once I reached the beach, there's two fellows from my company there, Jim Slagle and Joe Daniels. Joe Daniels was full of holes in that there, and he was mumbling around there for a little bit, but he didn't last no time when I was there, and he went on.
I had never heard a German machine gun prior to that. American machine gun is dat, 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 dat. And a German machine gun is brrt, 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 brrt. I mean, just spitting out shells so fast.
I got hit twice with machine guns in the arm, and it just about tore my arm off when it just flew me backwards and into the water, and it was there wasn't pain. It was just a thud. You didn't really know what was what till you looked down there, and my arm was just dangling, and the blood was just flowing out of there like it looked like I wouldn't last a minute and I'd have no more blood.
The assault on Omaha Beach was a costly one. Official records put the losses at about 2,000 men dead, wounded or missing. But such was the devastation and carnage here on D-Day, for years nobody could come to an exact figure. Only now can it be revealed just how bloody Omaha really was. Joe Balkowski is the historian for the US Army's 29th Infantry Division and has spent years researching the events of Omaha Beach.
It was not in any way foreseen that the casualties would come with the intensity that they did in the first couple of hours of the invasion. From 6:30 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning on D-Day, American soldiers were being felled on the beach like stalks of wheat by a sickle.
Joe has studied hundreds of D-Day official documents. He believes the true casualty figure on Omaha Beach is more than double the number initially recorded.
The casualty count on Omaha Beach, in retrospect, was much, much higher than historians had previously thought. Realistically, only in the last couple of years have historians been able to figure out that the count was probably twice as high as first thought. In the range of 4,500 to 5,000 men became casualties on Omaha in an 18-hour period.
Ever since June the 6th, 1944, questions have been asked as to why there were so many more casualties on Omaha Beach. Simon True believes that senior American commanders not only accepted the possibility of high casualties, but had planned for them.
So given its situation, given what they had here, was this always going to be a bloodbath? Was it just inevitable?
The American intelligence analysts appreciated right from the beginning, many months before D-Day, that they were going to face real problems at Omaha Beach. They knew that they had to get ashore quickly, storm the bluffs, neutralize the enemy strongpoints before they could recover and start firing down onto Omaha Beach. The Americans weren't stupid. They realized that they might face really difficult problems here and they might sustain potentially thousands of casualties. The American First Army actually calculated that they might lose as many as 6,000 men at Omaha Beach. Actually a figure not very far from the truth.
But although the Americans had planned for thousands of casualties, they'd not been expecting to lose so many in the first 2 hours. With the German defences intact, the assault was rapidly unravelling.
Imagine all these guys, their buddies are killed, blood and guts everywhere, paralysis, shock. What the average human being does when they see blood, guts spread all over the place is they stop. They look and they stare. It's a human reaction. It's a gut reaction. As a consequence of that, that's a great time to be targeted and killed. You need to be moving forward. Every time you stop on the battlefield, your chances of surviving diminish greatly.
Yeah, there were a lot of dead bodies, a lot of equipment, a lot of destroyed vehicles. The beach was blocked. You couldn't move. There was no radio communication, none at